You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday.
It's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing.
I remember asking Donald Trump about this.
And I think you're going to have to do more to satisfy the American people.
Epstein Files have been released, and all the y'all are acting normal. All of y'all acting normal.
No one, criticizes him, and yet.
Oh, wait a minute.
That is a double standard.
Jim, hold on. Much has been said about Jeffrey Epstein. Terrible things.
No, I'm talking about Jeff Epstein, the New York financier.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
The Department of Justice's core mission is to fight violent crime, protect the American people, and defend the rule of law above all else. To address the Epstein Files, more than 500 attorneys and reviewers spent thousands of hours painstakingly reviewing millions of pages to comply with Congress's law.
Which was signed on November 19th, so that makes the production of these materials in a publicly searchable format due on December 19th.
Breaking right now, the Justice Department has unveiled a trove of records from the Jeffrey Epstein files. These files just being made public in the last 15 minutes.
Still, what's been made public so far falls well short of the full disclosure required by the law Congress passed last month.
There are a few pages of this that are fully redacted, no explanation why.
Simple, because of who's on that list.
There's also an email that mentions 10 co-conspirators that the FBI was discussing in 2019.
There is no credible information.
We've released more than 3 million pages, including
a few mentions of President Trump.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
They want to know who, if anyone else, he trafficked these young women to. And that's a very fair question. I want to know that answer.
I do want to know where those tapes went. I do want to know what happened out in New Mexico. I would like to know, are there other women and children who've been impacted?
Yes!
For example, by this Epstein, not just by Jeffrey Epstein himself, but also by Ghislaine Maxwell.
My habeas petition is pending in the Southern District of New York. I therefore invoke my right to silence under the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
while doing our very best.
Well, we know that's not true. We know that she has more material and she's going to have to produce that material. So that puts her in an interesting position. In order to comply with the law, she's going to have to prove
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First,
the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
End of quote.
You then produce already public information and no client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
First, Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files, and I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list. If I could have finished my answer. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. There were more than 500 attorneys and reviewers who assisted with the.
That answers my question, ma'am, and I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on.
And that's exactly what he did, and that's why today the other side sits here, they yell, they cut me off, they want to yell, they want to ask a question and don't want answers because they want to distract the drugs, the guns, the terrorists coming into our country.
And a little bit of chicken.
These are the stakes. To make a world in which all of God's children can live, or to go into the dark. We must either love each other, or we must...
Hello, everybody. This is a great honor and a real privilege. I'm thrilled to be here today with our nation's next incredible, and she will be incredible, Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi. And I want to congratulate Pam.
Pam Bondi has said in her official capacity, but not necessarily under oath. By the way, if you say something to a TV camera in an interview and you lie, in Washington, D.C.,
First, he brought up the president saying they indicted me twice. They sure did.
Pam was a career prosecutor for nearly 20 years and was one of the toughest and smartest and best and most successful attorney generals in the history of Florida. And I think, I put it out this morning, I think she's going to end up going down as the most successful, or certainly one of the most successful attorney generals.
And for whom the Attorney General works, has signed a law, and the ink is...
History, and none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
We make it work. We make it work. So, the other question is, and I'm sure you get this a lot, where's her ring?
My girlfriend.
Can my girlfriend come?
On the weekend of March 7th, an FBI plane flew round trip from D.C. to Las Vegas, and you attended a UFC fight with Mel Gibson, and I'll show you that. Is that you, and is that true?
Yeah, you want to know the difference? I live in Las Vegas. I'm allowed to go home. I didn't leave a congressional hearing early on an FBI jet to dodge questions.
All right. Then on April 5th, you attended a hockey game in New York City. You don't live there, right?
No, I don't. I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so...
You haven't reviewed all of the Epstein Files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest trafficking case the FBI has ever been a part of. Buck stops at the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all of the files.
What I've been doing is been busy providing the safest country this country has seen.
Will you release all of them, or at least as many as you can?
We will release everything we are legally permitted to do so. We are continuing to work with the House on the subpoena request. We have substantially complied with it, but we will continue to release whatever we are legally permitted to do so.
Okay. I strongly encourage you to do that. Kash, this issue's not going to go away.
Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief, so help you God?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our national security mission is equally as important. Anyone that wishes to do harm to our way of life and our citizens here or abroad will face the full wrath of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Well, if you are harboring criminals, you are harboring our ability to keep our communities safe. It's that simple. If you have a fugitive warrant for a violent felony offense and we are not able to procure you because of policies or rules that don't allow us to go get them.
They know that Epstein trafficked young women to himself. They want to know who, if anyone else, he trafficked these young women to. And that's a very fair question. I want to know that answer. And I think you're going to have to do more to satisfy the American people's understandable curiosity in that regard.
Again, going back to 2008, Mr. Acosta, who limited the investigation and limited the search warrants and limited the parameters of the investigation, the only thing we are able to speak to publicly, because he was given a non-prosecution agreement by Mr. Acosta, is that first time period from, I believe, don't quote me on this, 97 to 2001-ish. And then when the Trump administration courageously reopened it.
Kash, excuse me for interrupting, but I'm going to run out of time. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein Files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein Files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein Files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein Files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in the Attorney's
It's a simple question.
file.
Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein Files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed.
The question is simple.
Who
did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein Files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes
if you're gonna
or
mock
no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No, A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F.
it sounds like you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein Files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's
country and the number of...
Now, Secretary, I read your book last week. And honestly, some of the parts of it impressed me, but some of it distresses me. And I'll give you a good example of one that does.
So if you want to be a national political figure, it's probably not a good idea to shoot a dog and then brag about it in a book. But now that she has...
President Trump has fired DHS Secretary Kristi Noem.
It just was, he'd be sitting there and he'd have somebody massage his feet or squeeze his shoulders, or I saw that a lot. It was an ubiquitous interaction, if you will. So I did see that. I saw physicality, but not anything that was I don't know how to characterize it. Anything that looked aggressive, I suppose, to define that. So I never saw an aggressive move. I never saw anything that was
non-consensual.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay. I never saw anything that was non-consensual.
And joining me now is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Mr. Blanche, welcome to Meet the Press.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here. Let's dive right in. The Epstein Files Transparency Act.
Just a quick note about the videos and images. I want to address what we didn't produce. So the same individuals that are out there complaining about the lack of documents that were produced on Friday are the same individuals who apparently don't want us to protect victims. So we're going through a very methodical process with hundreds of lawyers.
President Trump's promise of transparency to the American people. I also want to thank the more than 500 lawyers and professionals across all those divisions that I just mentioned and others who worked long days, nights, weekends, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, nights, weekends, and holidays to complete this production.
I think transparency, sunlight, what they say is the best disinfectant.
It's the best disinfectant. Let me tell you why I think this is important.
No, I have no reason to believe that the lawyers that were working on this case were talking about President Trump.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Because he had nothing to do with the Epstein Files. He had nothing to do with the horrific crimes that Mr. Epstein committed. And so I don't expect there will be anything redacted. But the short answer is we are not redacting information around President Trump, around any other individual involved with Mr. Epstein. And that narrative, which is not based on fact at all, is completely false.
The White House has said that President Trump is included in the files. Can you guarantee that every mention and every photo of President Trump in the Epstein Files will be released?
Women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you think that they should be more transparent?
The fact that they thought they released too much. You know, I heard that, and you tell me something else. No. I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else, really. You know, now that nothing came out about me, I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else, really. You know, now that nothing came out about me, other than there was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
What would you say to people
like
who feel like they haven't gotten
healthcare,
justice, Mr. President?
something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they have gotten
You are the
justice?
worst reporter.
Yeah, I would.
All right.
Yes, I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.